So as you all know, Jack Black has had an extensive career with not only his acting career, but also going into the music genre with Tenacious D. But a long-running acting career with plenty of classics like School of Rock, Kung Fu Panda, King Kong, Nacho Libre, Jumanji, The Holiday. I mean, the list just goes on and on. He's a mix of charismatic, funny, and I've seen him be serious at times too. But of all the movies that he's done, there's been one particular movie that Jack Black does not look back fondly on, and flat out regrets doing. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at Jack Black and his role and opinion on the 2001 comedy Shallow Hal. Before I get into all that, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video to stay up to date with all our latest videos. All the support is greatly appreciated. So, winding back the clock, in the early 2000s, there was a certain brand of comedy that we really don't see nowadays. A much sillier and on-the-nose sort of comedy. Not that those don't exist, but that style was pretty much disappeared over the last decade. Movies like Dodgeball, Scary Movie, Step Brothers, American Pie, and so many others. Manning these projects were some popular directors in the game, two of which were Peter and Bobby Farrelly, also known as the Farrelly brothers. Together, the two directed and wrote several projects including Osmosis Jones, Fever Pitch, Me, Myself and Irene, Dumb and Dumber, Dear Santa, which just came out this last year, and of course Shallow Hal, the movie we're going to be focusing on. The general premise of the movie follows Hal following the advice of his dying father. Hal dates only women who are physically beautiful. One day, however, he runs into self-help guru Tony Robbins. Yeah, he's actually in the movie as himself. He ends up hypnotizing Hal into recognizing only the inner beauty of women. It's more of a visual thing. Hal thereafter meets Rosemary, a largely obese woman whom only he can see as a vision of loveliness. The slimmer version is played by Gwyneth Paltrow. Throughout the process, Hal's friend, played by Jason Alexander, sort of plays devil's advocate throughout the movie and tries to get Hal to pretty much snap out of his trance, if you will. Since the movie deals with the idea of beauty and overweight people, it probably wouldn't bode over that well in today's society, even though it's actually a message about seeing the beauty inside of people rather than the outside. But I know that some people would somehow try to find a reason to hate on that message. This really comes down to the execution though, and apparently when the movie came out, there were quite a bit of people that were mad about it for that reason, and for poking fun at bigger people through fat-phobic jokes, stereotypes, and other specific lines. But from the looks of it, it's definitely the minority, as a lot of people actually really enjoyed this movie, and I know a lot of people that really have this at the top of their list in terms of classic comedies. Unfortunately though, Jack Black seemed to be one of the very people in that minority. He would be very vocal about it only 5 years after the movie came out. In the 2006 interview, Jack Black opened up about his regret for working on the movie. He's quoted saying, "I had an opportunity to work with some dudes I thought were really funny, but it didn't turn out as I'd hoped. I wasn't proud of it, and I got paid a lot of money. So in retrospect, it feels like a sellout." End quote. He didn't elaborate on what aspect of the movie he wasn't proud of, but from the sounds of it, it may be because of its take on being bigger and the stereotypes with that, or it could have just been the quality of the movie or the comedy in general that he didn't like. But given the fact that he went on to collaborate with these two directors for several movies after that, including one last year as I mentioned, I don't think it was the comedy per se. Whatever the reason may be, he flat out regretted making it. Funny enough, Jack Black is not the only one who worked on the movie who looks back in dismay at Shallow Hal. Gwyneth Paltrow, which again was in the movie, also regretted making it as well. In her particular role, she wore a fat suit in some of the scenes. She called doing the movie quote-unquote a shite decision. Also in a 2006 interview, she broke down the experience of wearing the fat suit, saying, "The first day I tried the fat suit on, I was in the Tribeca Grand and I walked through the lobby. It was so sad, it was so disturbing. No one would make eye contact with me because I was obese. I felt humiliated. For some reason, the clothes they make for women that are overweight are horrible. I felt humiliated because people were really dismissive." End quote. Not entirely sure how true that story is or if there was other factors that played into her experience. Again, I'm not taking anything away or saying that it's not true, but again, like everything, thing, I take these with a grain of salt. But all in all, she too regrets making the movie. But Gwyneth Paltrow wasn't the only person that was shown on screen. There was a body double by the name of Ivy Snitzer, who recalled having a good time during shooting and felt like she was treated respectfully by the cast and crew despite being bigger and being used for some of the close-ups of her body for the movie, along with the actual topic of it as well. Since then, she has lost the weight, but shortly after the movie ended, Snitzer found herself technically starving to death since she had gastric band surgery, reducing the size of her stomach. After the movie, she recalled being insecure but also confident because of Shallow Hal. An interesting side story there. There's more to it if you want to read up on it. I'll put the link in the description. But what about the directors we mentioned earlier, the Farrelly brothers? What do they think of Shallow Hal after all these years? Well, in an interview with Variety just this past year actually, the brothers spoke out about the movie, and did they agree with the stars in the movie? No, actually. In fact, the contrary. They defended the movie. They were asked about Jack Black's comments, the one I quoted earlier, and the brothers said that was the first time they had heard of that. They went on to say, "I think the movie was always coming from a good place. Don't judge people by what they look like, look what's inside of them. That's where the real beauty is." That was the point of the movie, and I think if you watch it now, it still says that. End quote. Honestly, this is super fair, regardless of whether the movie holds up today or aged well, and even if some of the jokes are questionable and don't really land, the overall message is actually not a bad one, as hidden as it may seem with everything going on in it. The movie continues to be a favorite among fans and those who grew up with classic comedies of the early 2000s. For me, I think that the movie's pretty entertaining. You know, it's not the worst comedy I've seen, but definitely not the best, just somewhere in the middle. But regardless, this movie continues to be a favorite among fans and those who grew up with the classic comedies of the early 2000s. They were a different breed altogether. While there's some regret for having made the movie, there are plenty of other comedies out there from that era that would have some people losing their minds in this day and age, and I'm surprised there hasn't been a lot more apologies from some of these celebrities and actors in today's age. Oh, how comedy has changed, better or worse, who knows. But thank you so much for watching this little featurette on Shallow Hal. Do you agree or disagree with Black? And let me know if you are a fan of the movie. If you want to see more videos like this one, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to stay notified about all our newest videos about movies, TVs. I do tier lists, I cover all these kind of different things. And if there's a certain movie you want me to talk on, let me know below. I'd love to hear it. But until next time, thank you for watching. Appreciate the support.